Peace and blessings, family. It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boxing community. Before we go any further in the video, like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime I post any new videos. Subscribe to the channel. And in addition to that, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Coach 67 Sports TV, on Instagram, here on YouTube, on Twitter, and on TikTok. In addition to that, go and subscribe to my brother's channel, my comrade, my partner in crime, Jared 011 Green, here on YouTube also. Follow him on this platform also. Just to give my final recap of the 49th annual Bayou Classic 2022 edition. Just to kind of give a final cap on it. First of all, in terms of the atmosphere of the game, when Pete Richardson was the head coach at Southern University, the dean of the SWAC, he had a legendary run at Southern, but at Southern's height and in Southern's heyday, when he had the program really going, it was always like an electric atmosphere in the Superdome. But day before yesterday, it was a good atmosphere, but it pales in comparison to those peak Pete Richardson days where seems as if, like from that Friday, like entire Thanksgiving weekend, like it was always a crowd in New Orleans. In addition to that, it was hard to just move around the city because, so many streets were blocked off, things of that nature. A lot of events, a lot of festivities, the battle of bands between Southern and Grambling. And just a lot of events and festivities. From what I'm understanding, it still had a lot of that going on, but in terms of the atmosphere during the Bayou Classic itself, it just wasn't, it was good, but it wasn't great, excellent like it was in the past. That's first and foremost. Secondly, it did a lot of raining in New Orleans the day of the Bayou Classic. So I didn't get to the game in time for kickoff, which was aggravating. I got to the game during the course of the first quarter, and when I arrived, of course, Southern they really wasn't doing great. Grambling pretty much had the ball and they had control of the game. And just to kind of give you a stats breakdown, Grambling's quarterback, Julian Calvez, he had 13 completions on 27 attempts for 152 yards. He had one touchdown, but he also threw one interception, which was a pick six. And he fumbled the ball 3 times, which was, huge. Of course, by the time he threw the pick six, the game was practically over. In terms of rushing, Grambling, they pretty much had their way with Southern in terms of the ground attack. Grambling's leading rusher, and also Grambling's MVP for the Bayou Classic was Frank Chalk IV. He had 8 rushing attempts for 120 yards. So he averaged 15 yards per carry. So from a coaching standpoint, basically it just kind of made me wonder why Coach Hugh Jackson and staff, why they didn't give him more touches. Because from a coaching standpoint, I always want my best player to touch the ball as much as possible. And whatever facet of the game I'm having the most success in, I'm just going to stick with that facet of the game the most. And they really didn't do that late in the game. They just kind of abandoned the passing game. Second leading rusher was Maurice Washington. He had 6 carries for 49 yards rushing, and he averaged 8.2 yards per rush. And Chance Williams, who went to Scotlandville High, he's a Baton Rouge native, product of Baton Rouge. He had 6 rushes for 41 yards, and he averaged 6.8 yards per carry. So anytime Grambling lined up in a run-heavy formation, whether they would line up in an eye or strong eye, and it would go double tight, when they lined up in ace double tight, whether it was under center or in a shotgun, whether they would line up in a pistol wing tee, basically any run-heavy formations, and they decided to run the ball, especially when Frank Chalk the Ford ran the ball, they had a great deal of success running the ball. So I don't understand for the life of me why they didn't just stick with the running game. Even when they were up 7-0 in the second quarter, they want to plus side the field. Essentially, they want to go up 2 scores. They fumbled the ball. Of course, Southern capitalized. They went down the field and they scored a touchdown, and that essentially would tie the game. Grambling eventually went down and they kicked the field goal. After that point, the game was back and forth. Southern was up 3 points in the fourth quarter. The score was 17-14 in favor of Southern. Coach Dooley, he made a couple questionable play calls. In one instance, it was 3rd and 1. Southern is a run-heavy team. I don't understand, like, in this particular instance, why he decided to pass the ball. They passed the ball. Grambling got the ball back, but the problem was, for Grambling, they didn't stick with the running game either. They started throwing the ball. Grambling eventually fumbled. Julian Calvas, he fumbled the ball. Southern picked it up. They ran it back for a touchdown. And in addition to that, the next drive, the ensuing drive, I think it was second and third down, and Junior Calvas, he threw a pick 6. That effectively ended the game. Southern won 34-17. In terms of stats from a Southern standpoint, Bashawn McCray, he had 7 completions on 17 pass attempts for 75 yards. But from a rushing standpoint, he ran the ball 17 times for 93 yards rushing, and he had 1 rushing touchdown. Of course, that's the reason why he's Southern leading rusher, even though Southern pretty much, they go back by committee. But Bashawn McCray on the season, he's Southern's leading rusher. Carl Ligon, he had 13 carries for 57 yards and 1 touchdown. And Kendrick Grimes, he had 6 carries for 20 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. And conspicuous by his absence, I don't know if he's hurt or injured. From what I hear, he's in the doghouse. I don't know what the case is. Gerard Sims did not play in the game in the Bayou Classics day before yesterday, so he didn't even play at all in the game. In terms of receptions, Cassius Allen, he had a huge game early this season against Alcorn. He only had 1 catch for 32 yards. And August Petrie III, he only had 1 catch for 8 yards. So Bashawn McCray, he wasn't effective in the passing game. And I know his strength is running the ball, but if Southern is going to have any success against Jackson State, it's going to be imperative that Southern, they have more success in the passing game, because Jackson State's run defense is excellent. They lead the SWAC and from a defensive standpoint, especially in terms of run defense. So it's going to be imperative that Southern can beat Jackson State in the passing game, and it's going to be imperative that Bashawn McCray can make plays from the pocket. It's going to be imperative. In addition to that, Southern really struggled in terms of stopping the run. Jackson State runs the ball exceptionally well, so it's going to be imperative that Southern does a much better job in terms of stopping the run. They can't just let Jackson State just run the ball and just run the ball. Southern is going to have to make a conscious effort to stop the run, and then after that point, make life difficult for Shador Sanders and really get after Jackson State in the passing game. So that's pretty much my final recap and final analysis of the 2022 Bayou Classic, which is the 49th edition of the Bayou Classic. So like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, also on TikTok. Again, this is me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal week ahead. Peace and blessings.